Hi and welcome to the first ever studio vlog for Wilks Candle Creations. My name is Lindsay and I'm the owner and creator behind Wilks Candle Creations, and welcome to my dining room. The rest of the studio vlog will take place in my actual studio where I make all my candles, my wax melts, my diffusers, anything scent based. However, I got home this afternoon and realised that after I'd recorded a few different bits at the studio that I'd never actually recorded an intro to the studio vlog, so I thought I'd do that now, so I can get this edited, put together in some kind of format. This is my first time doing it, so I'll give it a good go. Don't expect anything fabulous. I'm a bit chaotic, undiagnosed ADHD. Jazz hands. I was wanting to show the behind the scenes of Wilks Candle Creations and what it is that I get up to, how I develop new products, and I thought I would take you along to show you that journey if you're interested. As you can see, I do collect random things, so I've got my pins here. They will be coming down off the wall and going to my studio with me because I like to see them when I'm working. And hopefully you enjoy and you come back for more, and I will be able to show you more on my journey as a small business owner, hopefully a content creator, and as I strive to make this business provide a living for my family. Over to the studio. My excitement level over a light up sign, unreal. I made this. Well, I made part of it. The wooden, basically the whole sign. The wooden sign with the letters all cut out in the middle with my name, Wilks Candle Creations. I got off another small business online, a beautiful sign. I'll link them if I can. But I got it untreated. I didn't want it painted because I already had the exact pink. It is pink. It is pink. It is pink. I already had that paint. It matches what's in my shop because this was meant to be in my shop. Which I'm now closing, so it's not going to go there anymore. And then I bought the lights off Amazon. There's 5 sets of lights on that bad boy. 5 sets. It took me a while to get it all placed right, and a lot of glue gun. I've burnt myself numerous times. No pain, no gain. So I've still got some more to do with this. I want to put some foliage and some pretty flowers. Ignore my hands, I've been eating grapes and for some reason they've turned my fingers black. But I'm going to put some pretty flowers on, a bit like my logo, I think. I'm going to try and get a bit like my logo. Because I do want to film more and I want to be able to have a visual in the background, and I didn't want to just print out a big sticker and slap it on the wall. I wanted something that was a bit more permanent. Although not permanent because I can just yank it off the wall, it's not going to stay there in case I ever leave this room because I'm like a gypsy. I move all the time, home, studio. I'm hopefully going to stay here a while. My husband's hoping I'm staying here a while because he's sick of moving me. So I've moved quite a few times. I had a little studio in my house, but then we had to move house because the landlord sold the house. And then I had an even smaller studio in the new house. Then I bought a shed for out the back, and we did insulate it and stuff, but because I make candles and wax melts, and you wouldn't believe how much temperature can really affect the way that the product can set or can cure, and then like it doesn't affect the usage, but the visual of a candle I think is very important, and weather and temperature can really adversely affect the way a candle looks, and I don't like it, so I won't sell that on. So it wasn't working, and we had the shop by then, and I was in there obviously with another small business, and my landlord also runs this building that my studio is now in, so I approached him and asked him if there was any rooms available, and there was. He had 3 available that day to show me. One of them was on the top floor. Your girl's not a healthy girl. like running up and downstairs is not my bag. So there's elevators, but if they're not working, I can't get to the studio. So I was like, it's an alright size room. My husband was like, yeah, it's only £100. Like, yeah, £100 a month it was. It'll do you fine. And I was like, I can't really see where I'm going to store anything, but then my landlord had 2 other rooms to show me, both of the same size, and they were about 250 to 300 a month, which was obviously a lot more than the £100 room. And then when we finished looking at them, he did say, I've got one more room that's literally just come available yesterday, and because I knew you were coming to date a view, I've kept it free. I haven't advertised it. Would like to see it. It's on the ground floor. And I was like, yes, take me there. Take me there. And he brought me in, and straight away I was like, this is my room. And my husband was like, but the £100 room, you know, it's I was like, yeah, it's £100, I get that, but I can guarantee you within 2 months I'm going to need to move. It's too small. It's a nice office, like single office sized room, but I would have nowhere to put anything. But this room that I'm now in is £200 a month. Plus I pay a bit more on top now because I've got the Wi-Fi in here. Turns out my printer doesn't work without Wi-Fi, and it won't bounce off my phone internet. So I've got the Wi-Fi put in as well. And my husband was convinced I'd have so much space, and you know, I'd be rattling around the room. I filled it already, and I've got lots more stuff to come in. And the only space I've got now, I can't remember what I said before, is this lovely space where my Christmas tree is. Christmas tree! I am contemplating putting that up already, not for Christmas. I have a box down here of my pop heads, and I'm thinking a tree decorated with pop heads. It's a me vibe. But there's also a good chance I might knock it over every day. So I really need to think about that one. But I've got some Calyx units in the shop to bring over once I shut the shop. So I'm a little bit, like, on the area, I can't really do much more. But the rest of my studio. I was sorting it all out, I was tidying it all up. Moving some of my storage, like my racking and things around, and moving my workbenches around so it was a more usable, more efficient space for me to work in. And my eyes fell on the box that this sign was in. I thought, do you know what, it's a good time to do that. It wasn't a good time to do that because now my studio's still a mess, but my sign looks pretty. I will try and show you the rest of my studio, see if I can figure this out. No, that's not working. So, space for Calyx units. And I'm thinking made products will go on there. There's my front door. I've moved racking, 2 lots of racking up that way so that I can have, I'm thinking materials should go on there for making. So that's stored products that are made on the Calyx units here. And this is to be things to make with. And then the best investment I've made is this beauty. I love it. It's new, but it's beautiful. And it's got all of my label stuff in. Because with each candle, with each wax melt, with each diffuser, with each room spray, there is a safety warning label to go on there that's identified by the fragrance as well as the front labelling to make it look all pretty. And I did have these like box files that they were all in. I just skimmed through all the time. It was time consuming. I ended up with piles of just labels everywhere around the room because I was lazy and just didn't put them away. But this keeps me so organised, and it's pretty. It's pretty. So that's got all of them in. This is my fragrance oil storage at the moment, so they're clear throughout the way. They are not in direct sunlight. I don't want them evaporating before I can use them. So they're in there. my little tea station area, which has got like things that I need to wash. I've got my wax melting station. This is for my candle wax. Now, it's actually probably a little bit too small for me now. With the volume that I'm making, especially over the winter and Christmas period. I have to refill it a couple of times a day. And it's time consuming then to wait for the wax to melt down again to be able to make more candles. But it is quite pricey to buy the next size up, and it's something I'm going to have to look at. I'm going to have to get through this winter and Christmas season with this for the candles and the melter there for the wax melts. But I think with any profits that I have from the Christmas and winter period, it's going to be an investment into new wax melters. Scale up the bigger wax melters so I can melt more at a time. I've got all my different... I need to clean the studio, right, because I've done some making recently and I haven't cleaned properly after I've made. I've still got bags on the floor, to be honest. I'm lucky I haven't fell over yet. This is my wax melter for my wax melts. It's just a little pot. Again, it is far too small for the scale that I make on now, but it has to do for now. I've got gloves to keep my hands safe. All my makeup powders, my glitters. This is more to do with the hydroflow pots that I make for my candles and some home decor pieces. I've got all of my not everything is in the right place yet, because once I've moved everything round, I kind of just shoved things onto shelves that were kind of in the general area that I thought they might go. So I think there is quite a bit of reshuffling to do. I think there's a box full of random stuff there. Not quite sure what it is. I'm sure we'll find out. So yeah, there's a lot more setup to be done here, but I've got the workspace, all that around there, and then I've made myself like a kind of like an island piece in the middle here, and just forget the kind of random pop that I've just left there. And this is an exciting box. I've had this for about 2 months now, and I haven't, it's new products to make and test to see whether I want to bring them out or not. And I haven't had chance to get round to test them yet. I've had a lot going on. But I think it comes in a little shaker bottles. And little sample pots. It's going to be the carpet freshener. I'm going to make some and test some in my own house. My carpets desperately need replacing, never mind freshening. But I'm going to make some and test some to see whether it's a product that I really want to get on board with. And then the other, which comes in the little sample pots, was something I've been asked for over and over and over again. And I've never really thought, no, I won't really, that's something I'm really interested in. But there's a demand for it. And the only thing I was missing was the granules. I've got the fragrance oil, I've got the mica, I've got the pots to put them in. So I am going to test make some sizzling granules to see whether I like them. Because although there is a demand, if I don't like making them, I'm not going to make them. I can't help myself. I can't force myself to make something I don't like. But I'm going to give it a try. See how they go, see if I like them, test them at home, test them on my mum, because my mum likes to test stuff for me, as does my sister. My sister would love freebies. What else have I got? It's just general crap laid around at the moment. Oh, and then I have my desk area with my little sign, I was contemplating, I do have, do you like the rack that my husband broke the other day? He sat on it. He sat on it straight through. So that's gonna go in the bin. Oh, a bit close. I've got like a long desk table at home in our dining room that used to be where our studio was, and I'm thinking about bringing that here and putting that along where the rubbish bag is, along here up to the radiator, because I do cups and tumblers. Well, I'm going to start doing cups. It's more tumblers that I do at the moment, and I want to get into sublimation, which needs heat presses. I think I've already got it in mind that that would be the perfect space in front of these racking workbenches to put the heat presses. I think. But that is a future project because I do not have the capacity up here right now to deal with more products. I actually need to streamline and possibly cut down what I've already got and reevaluate what's working and what's not working for me. But then I've already got 2 new products to test. This is how my brain works. I tell myself, you need to slow down, bring it back, reevaluate what you want to do. And then the other part of my brain's like, no, we'll do this as well. Oh, my packing supplies are just squished on there at the moment. I just don't have the, yeah. And this is my Nora. I bundled her back up when I moved. Let's see if I can get her out. Poor little Nora has just been sat in a bag. There she is. I rescued her from my 5-year-old who was going to feed her to the dog. No. She's now the studio mascot. Got a blue dot on you there, kid. Not quite sure what that is. Yeah, Minora. So she can stay there, proud as punch, next to me cricket. So that currently is my studio situation. Everything is a bit of a mess. It probably wouldn't be a mess if I didn't stop, well, if I stopped doing so many little side quests. The Christmas tree is still calling to me. I really do think I need a Christmas tree up with my pop heads on. Right, alongside that sign, which is beautiful, I have quite a collection of artwork, thank you cards. I've got my catnip calendar, Rebel Jones thank you cards. I've got bookmarks that I like to put up. I think they're so pretty, too pretty to hide in books. That's catnip is stuck to an Emily Harvey art one. Yeah, I've got all sorts here that I need to take apart. I want them on the wall around my sign because I do support quite a few of the small businesses. I don't actually order as my business, I order as my personal. I've got Millie. Got the lovely Sam from Joella Designs. I've got quite a few of Emily Harvey. I didn't realise how many cards I had for Emily. And Rebel Jones. Pride of Place is going to be this beauty. I love it. Christmas tree. And will you please forgive my scabby nails? That was me painting my own nails and it just comes straight back off because between my schedule and my nail tech, who is one of my best mates, her schedule, we haven't had a chance to see each other doing my nails. But yeah, this is, it's at Pride of Place and it's numbered, I believe. Oh, where's my number gone? It's numbered on the picture inside the frame, so I can't tell you what number it is. But she did a limited quantity of these. Emily Harvey art again, and it's just beautiful. Pride of place. Well, you can tell I'm new to this whole recording shindig because I've recorded some segments already and then realised I need to record a landscape, not portrait, for YouTube. So this first studio vlog is going to be all over the place, all over the map. Don't expect anything sensible from me. I will get there though. I wanted to give a bit of an explanation as to what transition my business is currently making. For those that don't follow my social media on Instagram and Facebook, where I have documented quite in detail what's transpired over the last year or so, is last year I opened a small shop unit within a historic building in my high street. It was a very small unit, and I went into there with another small business, someone that I was friends with through having small businesses. We met doing markets, and it was doing all right. It was paying its own rent. It was doing fine, but it wasn't really making us any money. But you it's your first year of business. You don't expect to make money for yourself or anything. But unbeknownst to me, beginning of this year, she wasn't very happy. She didn't talk to me about it, and she did what she needed to do for her, and she left. It a little bit hurtful because she didn't actually talk to me about it. She just did it and then told me the next day on a weekend where I wasn't in the shop. But no hard feelings. She's gone her direction, I've gone mine, and I was keeping the shop open. That was the plan. And again, the income, or the money taken in, was still paying for the rent. It was still paying towards materials, but it wasn't paying me anything, which again, first year of business, I don't expect it to. However, it was taking up a lot of my time, and I only had 1 day a week to be able to come in and make anything, and I had to stock everything in the shop. And then I've got 2 kids at home, I have a husband, and once I'd worked in the shop during the day, I was then trying to come into the studio on an afternoon, into an evening, and it was taking its toll. Both my kids have additional needs, have both got autism, so a lot of structure and routine is needed to keep them regulated and happy. And I started this business to work around my children, and obviously my husband has a full-time job, so we work it so that I am there when he is not. But we didn't want to have our marriage to the point where we were just ships in the night passing, because we got married for a reason. We love each other, we enjoy each other's company. He is my best friend. Pretty sure I'm his, and if I'm not, we need to have a conversation. So I've been spread too thin, and with me now being the only business in that unit, there was never going to be a time then when I'm going to be able to bring someone else in to relieve the pressure off me and to give me the time that I need to be a small business owner, get into my content creation that I want to get into, to help promote a business as well, to be the mum that I need to be for my kids. It got to a point the other week when I finally made the decision that yes, the shops has to go, because I walked into my house and my eldest child just flung herself at me and was like, "Mummy, you're home early." Like, she shouldn't have to miss me like that. She shouldn't have to. I built the business to work around my kids, but my kids have started having to work around my business, and I can't do that. So I made the decision to shut the shop. Scary thing is, the majority of my sales come from the shop, but those sales just pay the rent on that shop, and a little bit extra on top for materials. It doesn't it's hard to explain. I can't get the words to make sense in my own head. It doesn't bring in enough business for me to justify the amount of time and effort that I'm putting into it for my kids to miss me. So, after a very heartfelt conversation with my husband, who was very honest and told me that he did think I was spread too thin, but he'll support what I want to do, but he doesn't want me to shut the business. He wants me to keep it going. He knows that I am not the type of person that can just be sat at home waiting for him to come home. I was a pretty little wife. I'm not a pretty little wife. Not in the wildest dreams am I a pretty little wife. But I'm not a woman that can just be sat at home waiting for him to come home. It's not in me. I've worked every day of my life. I got my first job when I was like 12, 13. I've worked ever since. And trying to find an employer that could work around the needs of my children wasn't going to work. So that's why I started Wilks Candle Creations. I love being creative. I love making things. So I thought, yeah, I'll do this. It'd be great. But as I say, it's my kids working on the business, and I can't have that. Like, I have to make sure my priorities are where they need to be, and the shop's putting too much strain on everything. So that's going to close, and I'm moving to then being full-time in my studio while my children are at school, which means on an afternoon and evening I can do school pick-up for my eldest. My youngest gets transport because she's in a special needs school, so I can be at home with them, present, do tea, activities, annoy my husband before then he goes on night shift. And I thought that I would be more sad at closing the shop, but I'm not. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy seeing my products getting sold. I enjoy them going out into the world and people really enjoy them and coming back and telling me how great they are. Like, that does happen. That's not just me blowing my own whistle. That legitimately does happen. People come back and say that was amazing, I want some more. That is like a big ego boost for me. But I need to take the pressure off. And since I've made that decision, I am smiling a lot more. I am happier. I'm not stressed. I'm not panicking about bills as much. Don't get me wrong. We're not rolling in it. We're still panicking about bills, but I'm not panicking about the shop bills. They're taken care of. They're done. They're finished. So yeah, I'm going to come back into the studio full time. I'm going to be able to be there for my kids, for my husband, have family time, and I'm going to push ahead on the content creation that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, showing you the behind the scenes of my studio, how it works, the messes that I get into. That honestly, it's hurting my brain sat here looking at the studio because it's a mess. There's stuff just not anywhere it should be. My desk is a mess. But I'm giving myself time because I know that once I've shut down the shop, once I've shut down the shop, I know I've got time to put this chaos into some form of order. That's my plan. And that's why I'm shutting the unit. I hand the keys back in for my shop unit on the 14th of May, but my last actual operating day there is the 10th of May. I need time to be able to pull everything down, get everything out, clean it out. Not that it's dirty. It's not dirty. It's possibly a little bit dusty. Because where I live in the northeast, Stockton, Billingham area, the dust is unreal. It's like every day you have to dust. Every day. Sometimes twice a day. So yeah, I'm gonna clean it out. So I'm doing that on the Monday, Tuesday, which is the 12th and 13th, and then hand the keys back in on the 14th. And I will say that shop unit is in a better condition now than when I took it on. It's decorated beautifully. So whoever does go into that unit, good luck to you. I hope you do well. I have happy memories there. And I'm not saying in the future that I'm not going to open a shop again. I possibly will. It's just the circumstances have to be right. But for now on, I'm going to be coming into the studio full time, working here 5 days a week, pushing my online sales because I do now have a great little Shopify website. I had Wix before, and I love Wix, I did. I got on really well with that platform, it worked really well for me. However, it doesn't integrate to other platforms well enough. Things like TikTok Shop, there is no integration. With my Instagram and my Facebook, it would connect, but like Facebook shops and Instagram things, and YouTube, it doesn't alter. You can't alter like the stock levels by something being sold through one of those. It doesn't alter the stock levels or anything. It just social media feeds on there. So I switched over to Shopify. So I'm gonna push that. Obviously YouTube, hello. Push on my Instagram, on my Facebook, and I've had TikTok Shop for a while, but I've not really pushed it. I've not really focused on it. I've had I've had a fair few sales on my card diffusers. People love those. But it's not something that I've promoted. It's not something that I've pushed. So I need to knuckle down and push that, because what I want this business to do is to, rather than just taking all my time and attention away, as I want it to provide an income for my family. That's what I want. Nothing major, just something stability, where it's not all sat on my husband's shoulders to bring in the income. Normally, in my past relationship before I met my husband, usually me was the highest earner. But I've completely walked away from corporate life. Anything to do with an office job, I can't do it. It kills my soul. And I like being creative. I like being able to mess around, basically. And spending a couple of hours, I would even say 2 days, putting lights on a wooden sign, because, you know, it just needed to be done. So I did it. And I keep saying all the time, which is starting to annoy me because even I'm noticing it now. Anyway, I need to get home. I've already had phone calls asking where I am, because I work at the shop today, so I was meant to go home, but instead I've come to the studio to finish the sign and do some recordings, do some voiceovers, which is something new for me. But I'm actually quite enjoying it, even though I hate the sound of my own voice. I hate it. I think it sounds very childish, very immature, and I am 41 years old. I need to sound like I'm 41. Thank you if you've made it this far in the vlog. You are a hero. I've rambled quite a bit in this vlog. If it's quite noisy at the moment, it's I'm sat outside my child's school waiting to do school pick-up, and the windows are open because I don't want to boil to death. There's the car. Thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting my channel. If you would like to subscribe and like this video, it would help massively. Hopefully I will continue to make the studio vlogs. Another car's coming. 1, 2, 3. I really appreciate anyone who's watched this vlog and found them amusing. I don't pretend to be anything that I'm not. I'm quite quirky, I'm quite random, and hopefully that will come across in the vlogs and humour you through your day. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.